Welcome back to the sessions of interview we are doing right now in the Quest International University. We have been interviewing many of the authors of the book The Mind of the World Philosophy Day 2019, sponsored by the Malaysian branch of the World Philosophical Forum. Right now we are here with Mr. Nicholas. He is the COO of the university. Thank you, Mr. Nicholas, to be here with us and to accept this invitation. He is one of the authors of the book. He wrote a paper called Embracing Change and Possibilities in Higher Education, a Philosophical Perspective. So I invite you all to read this paper inside this book. And Mr. Nicholas, when I read your paper, I realized that you give a lot of importance to the self-philosophy or the philosophical perspective as an administrator of the university. So what is exactly the philosophical perspective?
Well, a university is a collection of a very wide range of people, meaning we have professors, lecturers, all from different university, different background, right? And in Quest International University, we pride ourselves to have a lecturer, professor with industry experience. So actually more than 80% of our teaching staff are with industry experience. So with these collections of people from different university, different country, different industry background, so we need to have a philosophy to guide each and every one of us towards a common objective. Okay, our common objective is to make sure how we can produce the next generations of thinkers, scientists, or people that can make a change to the world. Okay, so from that point onwards, what we have, a philosophy is not an individual philosophy, it's a corporate philosophy of ours. In other words, we want to make sure that this university is not a degree mill. Okay, so we cannot just produce students with a piece of diploma. Well, they go out there and look for jobs. So actually we are here, if possible, we want to produce everyone as entrepreneurs. Because as we read all over the world, there will not be sufficient jobs, right, for all the people in the world, the graduates. Even the latest statistic in Malaysia, the ministry have even reported in our parliament, right? 60% of the graduates after 1 year still are jobless. So what philosophy we should have, that means all our people here should buy into it, how we prepare our students. The very room that we are in here, as you can look at it, and in front of you, okay, here, there's a birthplace of our student-run advertising company, EDU, completely run by students. They have jobs, they have real-world experience. So they are no longer doing assignment in a class. Assignment in the class with lots of restrictions that you don't need to worry about. But when you're working with a real company out there, they have to worry about everything. So this, you stretch, you push your student to the maximum. Because a lot of places, education is about memorizing, sitting for exam, and graduates. But whereas when we give a students a real life experience like this EDU, whereas our communication students go out there, look for a customer, and do an advertising campaign for them. So this is just one example that I'm giving, that our philosophy is that way. And also, we emphasize on not teaching. Okay, why? It should be guiding, ensure learning. Teaching meaning we all sit down there for the few hours of our lecture, we give it to them. Okay, but are they getting it? So that is important. We want to make sure, and we have a slogan in our university, leave no one behind.
Great. You know that one of my concerns every time I'm going to read about a book, it's not about what I'm going to learn, but about the ideas I'm going to have reading the book. So when I'm about to start a new book, I'm thinking, okay, do I have the time to develop all these ideas I'm going to, they're going to show up while reading the book, because that is what you have said is really important. It's not about teaching, it's not about the knowledge you can give the students, but what they can, become,
Yes.
they can do by themselves. So I thank you very much for this answer. You said in your paper that you're aware of the multifaceted challenges faced by university, and certainly mindful of the need for a university to develop the proper and relevant responses that will guarantee its survival and growth. An economic downturn, for instance, may result in a cut in the government and business spending, which in turn could potentially affect the ability of the university to finance its operation, as well as secure the employment of its graduates, right? So for me, it's really interesting to read about this, because you as the COO have all the tools you need, because you have thousands of people, teachers, students, that they are only focused on develop knowledge and develop technologies and develop new practices. So you have the time, you have the people, you have the all the assets you need, the equipment. So how is this possible? How is this possible that a university with all of these, opportunities lacks of their very own way to be, to survive, or needs for the government or other companies to survive?
Well, Malaysia relatively, Malaysian university, like our university, relatively young in the perspective of Malaysia or in the world. We are 9 years old, okay? But there's no room for being 9 years old to survive, so we, regardless of what is our age, we have to change with time. Changes is so fast nowadays. For example, in Malaysia, in the early days when university was blooming here, and blossoming in Malaysia, we were glad to produce graduates because we need lots of skilled labor, in the early 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, yeah? But now as time change, okay, technology changes, okay, and the society or the market needs of a student is no longer somebody with a degree, with a diploma, looking for jobs. So, example, what we learned yesterday in terms of IT can be obsolete in 5 minutes by Dr. Googles, all right? So, what should we do? And look at our curriculums. It's prescribed down there. There's only one IT subject for the whole 3 years or 4 years. Is it sufficient? And usually you do it in a year one. So here in Quest, we want to embed IT knowledge. I'm not trying to teach a computer science, I'm not trying to teach a medical student, a pharmacy students, or a mass comm or business students to be a computer scientist. But he or she must know the relevant lingo knowledge about IT throughout his learning career in Quest. Why? If you only learn it in year one, by year 4, when you graduate from here, what you learn is obsolete. Every 1 year, 2 years, even your handphone changes. Like I was this morning was talking to students, what changed from 2018? iPhone 11. Before the iPhone 10. So things change so fast. So here in Quest, we want to make sure these are one as the example. And the other question you're talking about, the survival of the university. So we cannot depend on tuition and fee alone as a university.
I agree.
Yeah, but university should not be just doing that. So in 2017, we have already started our process. And by the year 2020, that means next year, we will start to march towards a lesser dependency on tuition and fee. I wouldn't review the figure, but definitely we are going to reduce the percentage that the revenue from tuition and fee.
Yeah,
Okay?
and that's what I expect.
So we want to, how we make up the rest. Like I said, even our faculties member, some of them have been sent to Hong Kong. We have project in Hong Kong, teaching English inside offices. We have our hospitality programs. They were in Sri Lanka with our lecturers, our students, and training hotel staff in boutique hotel in Sri Lanka. And our research team, I want them to go into something that can change the world. That the research have to be impactful, that can be commercialized. And this year alone, we have patented a couple of products. One of them already been patented, more are coming. So eventually, we will be commercializing this product. That will be a source of revenues. And on top of that, we are designing our new campus right now. Our new campus is not going to be lots and lots of teaching labs. Right? Like this facility that we're using here is not just for the students. The students use it, the staff use it for commercial purposes to get our revenues, generate revenue for the university. In the process of all this getting revenues, the important factors that what we are trying to do is, so the staff with the real life experience, the students no longer have to have a gap. While they are in as a students here, they're already being exposed to real life experience. They're working on real life projects. So it is a seamless transition from them, from a university to the real world. So with that, I'm very proud to tell you, I just got a statistic from my staff this morning, 85% of our students are employed within 1 year after they graduate. Whereas the nations, 60%, it was reported by our minister, unemployed after year one.
And I am proud to hear about that, because if you have that philosophy of practicing the knowledge they are acquiring, so what is it so difficult for the university to become, not isolated, but to become
self-sufficient?
Self-sufficient, because I have many companies. One of them is at the cutting edge technology, which is blockchain related company. So every year we need to come up with a new product, a new level of the product, because every year is getting more complex. So and the company have to pay the people that work to that company, but the university is like all the students, all the thousands of people that are doing that in the university, that doing research, that promoting or developing new technologies, help the university to have income while develop this new knowledge and technology. So what is so difficult for a university to be self-sufficient?
I don't think it's difficult. For us, it's a matter of time, because we are very young. Okay, we are only 9 years old. As I said, by the year 2020, there's a first milestone that we reach. That's 10 years old next year. We will start by achieving a quite substantial amount of our revenue percentage from non-tuition fee. Okay, so I will say that within the next few years, within the next 5 years, by 2025, we should be very self-sufficient.
No, but that's the question, because you are the CEO. You have really, I read about your background. It's really interesting, the background you have in the private industry. But a company doesn't spend 9 years to become self-sufficient. So why university does?
Because why university that way? Because first of all, we started out, as a company, you can have a products that you can sell. But a university, it takes so many years. For example, a program, you need approval. You cannot have 2 products and make a company sell. A university, you need to have a variety of programs. So it took us so many years to get all these programs accredited. That is the natural progress. And there's a lot of companies out there, high-tech company. They are not profitable yet, but they are worth billions of dollars.
Can we say that the problem is bureaucracy, maybe?
No, I wouldn't say it is bureaucracy. It's a natural process. Because, for example, medical school in Malaysia, to be fully accredited, right, you need 5 years until the first batch of the student graduates. So now we are at the stage that we have sufficient, I would say, 40 programs. Because as a university, to be a full-fledged university, you need, like ourselves, we have 5 faculties. You have to have a variety of programs, so you have enough students populations to pay for it. Okay, so for example, regardless of how many students you have, you still need to employ the specialists. You cannot have one lecturer teaching 10 subjects because it's not in his special field. So it takes a few intake, so this lecturer can teach this specific knowledge to year 1, to the future year 1, to the future year 1. So yes and no. So only then, it's a natural process. In Malaysia, I said 10 years is pretty much, I think, the break-even point. Okay, so we take a bit longer, maybe because of the space limitation that we have here. Well, as I said, we are marching on to a new campus next year. Okay, and also Malaysia here, we are facing a lot of challenges in terms of educations. Okay, in terms of what we are facing, like medical school. Okay, because of the ability to get internships for the students, there's some challenges, but we are taking it in stride, and I'm very confident in the next few years we'll be a very profitable. Profitability is one thing. Why this company, ours, set up this university is not looking at pure profit from this. It's bigger than that.
Of course.
It's part of our corporate mission to give back.
Yeah, but the bigger the profit, the bigger or the better equipment or the better knowledge or the better education you provide to your students. Okay. So it's better to have your profits, and that's why you need, or you have this whole thousands of people working in the same goal, or with the same philosophy that you're talking in your paper.
You see, some of them you cannot measure in dollar and cents. Let me tell you why. There are plenty of students of ours, bright students, now they're working for my company, working for our corporates, our parent company. How you put a dollar value to that? So
a parent value.
Yes, you cannot put a financial value to, I have trained the students in computer science, in business, in marketing. Now they're working in our corporate headquarters.
Of course you can.
So that one is, you see, we as a company, this is like a farm of ours. We can pick and choose, the students that we have work for our company. And there are certain things that we can put dollar value to it. For example, in our university, we also practice inclusive education. Something I would like to highlight. No one should be deprived of education because of the physical disability, because of their learning challenges. So I'm very proud to tell you, this university, we're the first university in Malaysia to offer a full degree in special need education.
Right.
Are we going to look at $1 million from this program? No. This is called the social responsibility of our company, of our university to offer the program. And then not just offering that program itself, we even take in students with learning disability. We provide them additional help to make sure the kids or anyone within our ability will not be denied a good education. So some of these things is more than money to my chairman. We are into a lot of this social responsibility program. This is one of the program too. But despite saying that, for any university or for any organization, business or not for profit or whatever, they must be self-sustainable. So I can assure you, within the next few years, we will be self-sustainable.
Right. Now, Doctor, in your paper, you're truly aware not only of the weakness of the university, but of your graduates and their problem to adapt to society. You say that we have often heard grouses for industry players that many university graduates do not possess the kind of skill that they need. So I'm talking as a citizen of a third world countries, such as Malaysia. We can, maybe it's part of the world, third world countries. How much time do we need as a third world country to create new methods? If we have this weakness to come up with a solution, as you know, I understand that university is doing so, but I'm telling general, what is the problem that don't allows us as a working third country to come up with a solution for the whole world?
I don't get what you're saying.
So normally, world third countries expect for the other countries to come up with a solution.
Okay. I don't think educations we need to wait for anyone. I don't think we need to look at developed world what they're doing. They have different environments, they have different needs, and I don't think we should even bother with that. Malaysia should come up with Malaysian solutions, even though we are in a global village, but still, like I said, the local economy here, the local need must be addressed, which I don't think America, UK or Europe can address our need to a certain extent. Yes, there are certain things we can adapt. That's why my early education from the West, I don't copy everything and apply here. It don't work. So that's why we come back here, we look at it. For example, in Malaysia, to be in the global village, we all understand language skill in English is important. And so we have some challenges in that. So in the university here, the first thing we do is address the very important need. But in UK, you wouldn't have this. But here, we have that. Therefore, we put in program, we establish a very strong English language center. So make sure each and every students beef up the language skill. Because most of the informations on the internet nowadays are in English. So if you don't have the language skill, how are you going to mine all this data, all this information on the internet? So this is one example. And for example, in Malaysia, our research, we wouldn't research into rocket science, but Malaysia is full of abundant natural resources. From just a half an hour, 1 hour away from here, the oldest rainforest in the world. Okay, there's a lot of plant full of medicinal value that's not being exploited, not studied. I don't think you see that in the first world or in America. So why should we follow them? We get their knowledge on this, and which we are doing, like our research. We wouldn't research into other, like example, this dengue, mosquito-related disease. You don't have in the West. Why would we wait for the West to come and study us for us? No, we have to help ourselves. So that's why we have researchers studying into dengue, and we have researchers studying into medicinal plant that is only available in our forest, in our jungle, and we are doing that. As I mentioned just now, this year, early March, we have just patented products from plants that's only available in Malaysia, I believe. And next month, we roll out plants with medicinal value for skin diseases, which is available in Malaysia. So we don't wait for the first world or second world or whatever world. We don't wait for no one. Right. We get the knowledge from there and adapt. That's what education should be all about.
Yeah, but that's the last part I understand. We get the knowledge from them and the method. And if they create a university, we create a university.
Yes.
Can we change that pattern? Can we create a new kind of university so they adapt to the West?
Yes, we do that. Actually, the West, we have people from UK, from US came here to learn from us, to share with us. That's what is called collaborations. A university or knowledge is nothing if you don't share. You share, you speed up the progress. Okay. So we are very open. That's one of the reasons why we want to be in this forum with you. We want to spread the word. We want the rest of the world to know that Quest is here. We are here. We welcome everybody to come and collaborate, to research with us. For your information, as a young university like ours, we have 42 countries represented here. as far as Netherlands, US, all the small country, or from Africa, Asia, almost everywhere we have students. Why we welcome international students? We want them to know Malaysia, we want them to know Quest, and we want the world to come here together, to work together for the common good for humankind.
So, Mr. Nicholas, how does this university help to bridge peace and harmony in the world?
Okay, first of all, as I mentioned, to bridge the peace and harmony to the rest of the world. Number one, we must, as I mentioned just now, bring in lots of people, share our idea with the rest of the world. That's why we open our university to foreign students from all countries. And as I said, we are now having 42 countries as a young university, and we're going to have more from all over the world. Okay, all countries, all citizens of all countries are welcome to come and study here. That's part of, when you come, sharing is important. Second of all, the things that we are doing here, okay, the information that we have gained, the knowledge we have gained, that we are doing, for example, a research into diabetic wound, which is a world problem. So, which we have patented, and very soon we'll be sharing with the world. Okay, because when you bring common ideas of this that can help humankind, I think you bring in experts from all over the world. That is bringing the world together. The other thing that we emphasize a lot is the 17 SDG, this Sustainable Development Goal, the 17th goal. This university have all this charted out, how to sustain, global, this development goal of ours, of the university. So we have even worked with Loyola University from Chicago, where Dr. Nancy came all the way here to help us to look at it. So we're working with all over the world, with people from all over the world. And by this end of this year or early next year, we have experts from Australia coming to Malaysia, work with us to highlight, things like learning disability, which they are very advanced in their country, but it's not that polished in Malaysia in terms of the subject knowledge. That's why we started the degree, and to get expert, we bring in people from Australia to come here, and we're going to have a roadshow throughout Malaysia to highlight, to give opportunity to kids that are suffering from this learning disability or have this learning disability, to give them, to explore their potential. So these are some of the examples how we work with the world.
Right.
Okay?
I really want to thank Mr. Nicholas, because I think the world needs more Mr. Nicholas.
Thank you.
Because of his willingness, continuous willingness to improve the way we can train new generations and to adapt or evolve as a humankind. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Nicholas.
sir. Thank you very much. My pleasure.
I invite you all to read the book and, of course, the paper of Mr. Nicholas, and to keep in touch with all the activities the Malaysian branch of the World Philosophical Forum have brought to us this month. Thank you.
Thank you very much.